Welcome to the Division 8 meeting for August 15th, 2020. Quite an agenda today, and we also have a guest here with us, Ed Swain from Division 7. He's going to be giving the clinic this afternoon. So I need a motion to approve the minutes as they are posted to the Division 8 website. And Ron, I hope you're looking at chat because I'm not.
Yes, I am. Bill Edwards, approve.
Okay. And a
Mark
second
Norman,
from Mark Norman.
Second.
Good. All righty. Polling and share the results, and yay, no abstentions this time. Next up, Mr. Fields.
All right. It's been kind of an interesting month as far as getting certificates from Frank. We had to do it 3 times because the first 2 times they were destroyed in the mail on the way here. So the 3rd time, Frank put it in a major box, and they got here okay that 3rd time. But anyway, want to congratulate Fred for earning his Model Railroad Engineer Civil. And here's his certificates for the 3 turnouts that he scratch built. And here is his certificate. I think you can, it's backwards to me, hopefully to be forward to you all. But anyway.
It's fine, Joe.
It's
good.
It's good.
It's good? Okay, good. So we will get that to Fred as soon as possible. I don't know if that'll be at the next little get together over at the 600 building like we did, what was that, last month? Or was that June? I lose track of the months and all that. Other than that, that's all that's been going on. I understand Fred and I have been kind of going back and forth, and he's showed me some pictures of some scenery that he's doing on the backdrop, painting on the backdrop, kind of experimenting with that. And it's looking great. I may have to talk him into coming over and paint some for me sometime. So, but I'm not an artist in that sense of the word, as far as drawing stuff and so forth like that. I really admire people that can do that kind of stuff, make something look 3-dimensional on a piece of paper. But anyway, like I say, other than that, nobody else has contacted me or anything like that to have anything judged or looked at or whatever like that. So congratulations to Fred. And as always, if you have something to be judged or questions or whatever the case may be, just email me or call me on the phone. I'm retired, so I can, set up some time to get with you. That's for sure. And
thank you, Joe.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, of course, I chuckle when you say that 3 scratch belt turnouts, and I'm looking around the Gilroy room here, and I'm going, there's about 30 in here.
Yeah, exactly. The 3 you got judged on. Let's put it that way.
There you go. All right. Thank you. Next up is, I went too fast. Barry.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So today is the first contest in our 2020-2021 Charlie Keeling Model Contest. And in addition to that, it's also a historic first for Division 8, and that is it's our first contest entirely in the virtual world after our successful test run last month. So because of our leadership in Division 8, we're leading the Mid-Central region in using virtual methods, and thank you to all of the membership for supporting this. We're grateful for everybody that's using these technologies now for our contest. So our first subject of the year is the maintenance away equipment and highway equipment. We did have 5 really great entries. Before I announce the winners, I just want to say the level of modeling in terms of innovation that we saw this month, and the really good descriptions of the work that was accomplished, and the great photography that was submitted, it all made this a really great start for virtual contest. So without further ado, for our 3rd place winner, we have Bob Frankrone. Congratulations, Bob. 25-ton crane with a 40-foot flat car. We're admiring the photo there. And for second place this month, congratulations to Craig Hatter for his 3 Penn Central bridge and building work trucks. Lots of variety there, and just a really great effort. So congratulations to Craig. And now for our first place winner this month, congratulations to Joe Fields for his Fairmont A6 speeder scratch build. A lot of detailed parts put on that and scratch building effort. So congratulations, Joe, for leading us out now for our first month of the new contest year. So we're looking forward to next month, continuing on in the virtual world, and it will be, for next month, will be our photography contest. We will have a prototype photography contest and a modeling photography contest for September. So be watching your email for the specifics, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Ron, I think you're up.
Just a reminder on the way to enter the contest, and it's pretty simple. You send an email to the Division 8 Gmail address. Next month is a little different. Normally you'd submit 3 photos of your model. This coming month is photos, so obviously you only send in 1 photo, and then you need to fill out the information sheet from the website. And then voting. Most of you voted, which we appreciate your participation in the contest, as Barry pointed out. So if you're in Groups.io, you can vote there. If not, then you can either email Division 8 Gmail, or call our phone number, or text or SMS our phone number. And of course, the winners are announced at our monthly meeting. And part 2 of my presentation, Celebration Station is coming up not too long in the future, on October 4th. And Joe, you're right, Sunday, October 4th, Fred will receive his next certificate, and anything else that we have built up at that time in backlog that needs to be presented to any member, we'll hand out at that station. And also we'll refill your supply of sanitizer at that time. And if you're one of those who didn't get by our last celebration station, don't forget, you get 1 free sanitizer bottle, and then you can buy additional sanitizer at that time. Thank you, Fred.
You betcha. A couple things coming up. Said this already today, and if you've looked at the pie card, you already know that Ed Swain from Division 7 will be talking about his Pennsylvania Railroad lift bridge. Ron and I got a sneak peek a few days ago, and you are going to be impressed. I know you are. Our next meeting is the gathering on September 12th. Again, Zoom virtual meeting. Joe Fields, Bob Kukler. It says a 20-minute open discussion. We're trying to talk Chris Broughton into doing another session, this time on some of the renovations he's doing on his, or reworking on his layout. He took out some industrial area and so forth and made it more of a rural scene, repurposed some structures, and he's working with his static grass applicator. So it's pretty interesting what he's done. So we're trying to get him to be that third presentation. If not, we'll do a 20-minute open discussion. Ron and I have participated in that with Division 9, and it was interesting. It was really, really good discussion. So we may try that for a short bit if we can't get Chris to do that. And then we already have a full slate for October, believe it or not, for the gathering. Next month's Division 8 business meeting and clinic, Bruce McCowan will be back. This time, loads for open top freight cars. I want to bring up a couple things that we've not talked about before, partly because just found out about them, and this is one of them. The Narrow Gauge Convention, folks. This is the 40th anniversary of Narrow Gauge Convention. Was supposed to be in St. Louis. A number of us from the Division 8 were supposed to be there attending. And what's kind of neat is they've just announced within the week that they're going to have 3 days of virtual convention. The schedule is not 100% tied down. All the details are not tied down, but you can go to www.40nnGC.com and you can get a pretty good look at what is scheduled. So they're going to do it very similar to what they do when we're there in person. The morning will be clinics, the afternoon will be layout tours. Obviously, all of it, it's all going to be virtual, but they're doing it on 3 separate Saturdays. And I think this is an awesome way to make it happen. As far as I can see right now, no charge to participate. So yay, put that on your calendar. And again, for the NNGC, watch the website. If I find out more, I'll post it to the Division 8 Division 8 Facebook page. Also, if you get the NMRA magazine, hopefully you saw this on page 9 of the August 2020 edition. If not, well, now you're seeing it here. The NMRA annual general meeting is usually at the convention. No convention this year, so instead it's going to be Sunday, September 13th, 3 p.m. They're going to use GoToMeeting instead of Zoom. You do have to register, and all the details are right here on the screen, but you have to get it done before or by the 4th of September, either by email or phone call. I did mine, and it took about 2-3 days for them to reply to me. If you're not writing this down right this minute, of course, this video will be posted, so you can go back and look at the video, or pull out your NMRA magazine, or just fire off an email to me, and I'll give you a screenshot of this as well. Staying connected, of course, we've talked about a couple of things. If you're not part of Groups IO, man, you ought to be. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. And if you think that it's too much, you can set it up to be a digest, or set it up so you only get the special notices, which would be like for the contest voting, other voting, for meeting announcements, and so forth. But you wouldn't get the general chit chat and chatter of emails that go on day by day if you didn't want that. Facebook page, of course, is out there. That's updated frequently, and the website, there is a lot of information out there as well. And if you don't know how to get into the members area, any member of the board can tell you that. Most members should be able to, but if you can't remember the username and password, just holler at one of us and we'll give that to you without any trouble at all. Right, that wraps up the business meeting as far as what we have for an agenda. The next thing up is a quick back to basics. We've talked about this before. Again, I'm going to set my timer, okay, and pull this up right here, and I have set myself, as always, a 5-minute deadline on this. So let's get started on this. Today I'm going to talk about Whyte notation, not writing on a chalkboard with white chalk, but rather WHYTE notation. Most of you probably already know this. Some of you may not know all the details, and in 5 minutes I can't go into all the nitty-gritty details anyway, but it's kind of an interesting thing to learn more about. It is a classification method, a way of classifying steam locomotives, internal combustion engines, electric locomotives. It does not apply to diesel electrics. There are ways to do that. There is another method for that, but the Whyte notation is primarily for steam locomotives. There are some other systems out there that you might have seen. There is a specific, unique Swiss system for notating the designation of locomotives. When we say UIC, we're usually talking about a German classification or a German system, but there are some other variants. The French and some others have some variations on that. But for the most part, most of the world goes with the Whyte notation. So what is it? Well, we look at the leading wheels, the driving wheels, and the trailing wheels. That's what tells us it's an 060, an 040, a 444, or whatever it happens to be. So it's really easy to figure this out. So you take a look at the leading wheels, take a look at the driving wheels, and the trailing wheels, and there you go. In my little example I have up here, this would be a 262. Yeah, I know you see 1, 3, and 1, but it's really the number of wheels, not the number of axles. So here's another quick example. What would this be? Well, we've got 4 leading wheels, 6 driving wheels, and no trailing wheels, so it would be a 460. What about this guy? This is a photo I took at the California State Railway Museum in Sacramento. Well, it's pretty easy to see. It's a 440. 4 leading wheels, 4 drivers, and nothing behind it. You don't count the tender, obviously. What about this guy? Well, this is a mountain type. It's a Frisco mountain type. It is actually in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I took this when I was a young captain at Fort Sill. Maybe this will help, okay? It's the same photo, it's the exact same photo. All I did was enlarge it and make it black and white. And now you can actually see we've got 4 leading wheels. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 axles, so that's 8 drivers. And you can just barely see under the cab that you have another set of wheels. So this guy is a 482, a mountain type. We'll talk about those types later. Everybody knows this guy, right? It's a 462. All right, moving right along. What about a beast like this? What do you do when you have a beastie like this? Well, it's a 4882. Yep, even though it's running in reverse, because it is a cab forward, you start at the cab. Even though when this thing was original, no, actually it was built this way. The original cab forwards, of course, were modified by the SP, and they ran the other way originally. But you do start at the cab. You've got 4 leading wheels. You got 2 sets of 8. And then at the very end, just before the tender, you do have 2. So you actually count each of the engines of the entire locomotive. This is a diagram out of a book from, I don't know, turn of the century or something. I found it out there off of Wikipedia, actually. So it's a good little description of what's going on out there. Some things you can take a look at, some more details. A lot of information, and sometime in one of these Back to Basics, we'll talk about different, why we call it an American or Atlantic or a Pacific or a Mikado or a whatever we call it. That, my friends, is my 5 minutes. So that wraps up what I have.